Guys, I was telling you this since this summer in June. Jarquez Hunter is going to be the guy to watch. And we saw that after Auburn's first game last week versus Akron. I told you this summer that he's going to have a huge year, even though he is technically the third string running back. I knew he was going to have a breakout year this year, even though he's backup, because in my mind, I truly think he is the number two running back. I don't mean to throw any shade on Sean, but it's just the truth. And we saw that versus Akron. We'll look at his stats in just a minute, but before we do that, let's take a look at some of these breakout runs that Jarquez Hunter had in the second half because they were just absolutely unbelievable. I was personally at this game and I was losing my mind. I was going crazy up in the upper deck, and I think my wife thought I was crazy, but that's okay because I was just excited because this is a guy that I've been looking forward to seeing play, and then the fact that he did this his first time out there, even though I expected him to do well, I was still shocked. If you don't realize how well Jarquez did, he was almost the leading rusher, and I'll show you in just a minute how close he was to being the leading rusher. But first, let's take a look at some of the highlights, some of the top plays that Jarquez had in this game versus Akron. Okay, I think this was the first play that Jarquez Hunter was in. So let's take a look at this first play with Jarquez Hunter at running back.
Hunter's first carry off right guard, bounces outside 45-50. Akron territory 40, 35-30, down the sideline and out of bounds.
You can tell just a huge run from Jarquez.
Finley turns and he hands to Hunter.
Okay, here's the next play from Jarquez. It's another huge run. Just look how he is just.
And loses his shoe and goes
he's a powerful running back.
45-yard line. Handoff Hunter got his shoe back in the ball game.
Just look at the speed and the power he has. And when he hits, did you see 44? He just got plowed over. Got plowed over by Jarquez.
Hunter, head down 5, touchdown Auburn. Jarquez Hunter.
Look at the look on Bo's face. The whole team knows this guy is the future
Auburn
after Tank.
And impressive. Stan White on open.
So as you can see, Jarquez had some breakout plays, some really huge yardage plays, and it's obvious that he is going to have a huge career ahead of him. Now let's take a look at a few of his stats from last week, and I really actually want to look at all of the stats for the running backs and the rushing game for Auburn because I just want you to see how he stacked up against Sean Shivers, against Tank Bigsby, and even against Bo Nix. So let's take a look really quick at those stats on Jarquez Hunter and the other running backs. All right, these are some of the individual player stats from the Auburn-Akron game, and the ones I want to focus on involve the rushing game for Auburn. So let's take a quick look at the rushing stats for each of these players, and I want you to see what you notice. Bo Nix had 3 rushes for 32 yards. TJ Finley had that 1-yard rush for a touchdown. Tank Bigsby was the overall leading rusher for Auburn, and he had 13 carries for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sean Shivers, 2 carries for 26 yards. And then I'm not going to go over all the players, but then look at Jarquez Hunter here. 9 carries for 110 yards and 1 touchdown. He had 4 fewer carries than Tank Bigsby, and he almost caught up to him in rushing yards. If he'd had 1 more rush or 2 more rushes, 2 more runs, he would have been the rushing leader in that game last week as the third string back. I need you to digest that information, take that in, and understand what we're talking about. As the third string back, if they had run him a couple of more times, there's a good chance he could have been the leader, even after just 1 more carry based on what we saw with him. So, the overall thing I want you to get from this is that Jarquez is just a force to be reckoned with. He is going to make some just absolute monster plays if they give him the time and if they give him the reps. And if you see this before the Alabama State game, I can't wait to see what he does. He's going to get some playing time. We know it now. You saw the team's reaction to Jarquez running. They were pumped. They were excited, and they know how special he is. So I can't wait to see him play more. I can't wait to see what he does because in the smaller game we saw last week, he was very impressive. I am very interested to see how he does against an SEC defense, or even if he's able to get into the Penn State game in a week and a half, 2 weeks, however long that is away. I can't wait to see how he does against an actual team that is decent because uh, these are warm up games, and yes, they matter, and yes, they're still putting in the work, and objectively, what he did is impressive. But I would like to see how Jarquez and Tank, for that matter, run against some of these more dominant defenses. I hope you enjoy this quick breakdown of Jarquez Hunter's stats from last game against Akron. I just felt like I needed to do a follow up real quick because I did do that longer video on Jarquez Hunter this past summer. If you did not see that video, I would recommend you watch it. I will try to leave a link to that video either in the description or as a card that will pop up in just a moment. Other than that, I will try to keep making some videos this week about the Alabama State game and some other Auburn related things. But as always, please leave a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, and I will see you in the next one.